Yo, what's good, guys? I hope everyone is doing well this evening. My voice is sort of repairing itself, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. But what can we expect from Bitcoin next? All right? We've had this mad chaotic move to the downside. We were waiting for something to happen in and around this range right here. The move has happened. They've come and tested the key zones. What can we expect Bitcoin to do next now, ladies and gentlemen? So what we need to actually start doing is looking at the cycle yet again. So we'll roll over to the daily time frame. You can see this big wick that has formed on Bitcoin. They tend to have this habit of going back to these wicks. Why? Because this is where the imbalance has presented itself. Now I'll be getting up the book map very shortly, guys. So we're going to have a look at what zones they are looking to start filling orders in. Because quite frankly, guys, Bitcoin has only come to a spot where people were euphoric about Bitcoin getting ready to make an all-time high. Or not all-time high, but get ready to make a move higher. See, if you look at where we are, we've hit the 200 EMA, broken down ever so slightly. They tap the zone, and then they come all the way back up. Funnily enough, they managed to stay within the previous peak that Bitcoin had consolidated from before this big move to the upside. Now, there is speculation across the board. Is Bitcoin going to go lower? Is it going to go back higher? Is this where the parabolic move starts to make its way? Who cares? That's my point. It doesn't matter. All you need to care about from a trading perspective is just to focus on the momentum of the actual coin that you're trading. And in this instance, it's going to be Bitcoin. So what can we really expect? So let's roll down with the analysis so we can work out. So we've got the W formation back here when Bitcoin came away from the zone. We've got the retrace, then the continuation to the upside. We have now had the break to the downside. It has stayed within the previous peak. It's still a valid level 2, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because it didn't violate this previous zone. So we can only expect from this point, all right, the following behavior. Bitcoin is likely to either over the next couple of days or so try and make a recovery back up above the 200 EMA. It may even start doing this sort of behavior. Now, this is actually going to be on the lower time frame. So let me just roll it down to the 4 hourly just to put it into perspective. Okay, so here we go. Right. First things that's come to my attention is the fact that the 200, the 50 and the 800 EMA are still close together, guys. All right. This move came out of nowhere. They quickly made a run for the liquidation points for all the longs. Remember when we were looking at the glass node itself, we established that traders were still in denial. All right. You can see right there, traders were still in denial. And the last reading of that was 53,000. Let me just reset that to see if it's actually been adjusted or not. No, tonight it will be adjusted because obviously we need to wait 24 hours for it. But traders were in denial. All right. Are they at the point of anxiety just yet? Because price did go all the way down to like nearly 40, where was it? Came all the way down to 40k and then they pulled it straight back up. So by principle, we expect them to at least, we expect this reading to show a reading somewhat close to anxiety right now. All right. Now this is the glass node. This is based on net unrealized profit and losses in Bitcoin. All right. So I'm not saying it's going to be the deciding factor, but it just tells you where people are based on the profit and losses that are currently being held in live trades positions and certain addresses in Bitcoin. All right. With that being said, guys, this big move up, big move down, complete reset of the range. We expect, as always, whenever price comes to a key area, they have to pull away from it. And they did just that with this zone. Okay. They've pulled straight away from it. Now, what's concerning me is the following. It may be, well, put it like this. We've got the start of what appears to be the first leg of a W formation. All right? Ideally, we would want to see the following. All right? We want to see price coming back up to regulate in and around the 50 EMA. Once it hits the 50 EMA, at this point, we would expect them to come back down again to potentially come and recover some of this wick. Now, at this point right here, this is where they may actually try and hit the wick, 50% of it to recover it, and maybe even recover that wick. Okay? And then bounce back up. But it all depends on what it does from this zone. So, if Bitcoin does make a little bit of a recovery back up, happy days. But ideally, you want to see what it does in and around the 50 EMA. Hits the 50 EMA, it will pull back down if they are looking to continue to go down lower. All right? Now, across the board, there were millions and millions of dollars worth of liquidations. And what we need to try and keep in our mind is this. What's the market maker going to do to get people to step back in again? Because if people aren't coming into trading, market maker ain't got no liquidity to fill. Now, of course, with that being said, there are, of course, institutional traders, hedge funds, you name it, that are providing the means for the market maker to facilitate the transaction between buyer and seller. All right? Which brings me over to the Bookmap itself. All right, still waiting for the data to load up, get the GPU acceleration right there. Here we go. All right then, so where are the key levels with Bitcoin on the Bookmap? So 46k seems to be a point in the chart where a lot of orders are at. We've got 713 Bitcoin in that zone. Does it mean Bitcoin's going to go down to it? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, people are obviously thinking Bitcoin's likely to go down to that zone. But what you've got to do with the Bookmap is excuse me, is this. If it stays static red for quite some time, chances are price is likely to go to that range. However, if it starts to lose its color, all right, and it starts to get brighter and goes to like orange or yellow, it means they're taking off those orders and trying to get them filled much closer to where price is right now. In other words, they're believing that price isn't likely to go into that range just yet, or will it ever go there? Okay? Now, when we dive into the actual behavior of the candlesticks themselves, we just zoom out. And we can try and work out, as you can see, it's all over the place really, isn't it? You can see like little gaps in the chart, and it's because it's low liquidity. All right? But you can see right now between the 48,400 and the 48,600, this is where the liquidity is currently at. All right? Now, the orange is, of course, high liquidity, but not as much as what we would expect the 50 to be right there. All right? So we're waiting to see if they are going to find traction to move back up at least to hit the 50. If they hit the 50 and pull straight back, fine. We will know that they are going to then want to test these zones that they have previously come to. Because the idea of the Bookmap is the following. Wherever there are orders where they previously came back to, it's where previous traders are likely to step back in again when it comes back into that range. And you can see right here what's happening. Price come back down, hit those orders, they've come away from the zone. Now they're testing the intention of traders in this area. So the principle would say that price should be moving up from this point. So if we dive in a little bit closer, we should see, here you go. Now they're starting to actually step in a little bit. Volume's coming in. But remember, guys, it's the weekend. All right? It might take a little while for them to come away from this range. Looking on the Bookmap for Ethereum itself, because I know some of you guys are looking for the Ethereum. Zooming out, we can see that the key areas, I mean, look, 3,900 itself got 1,076 Ethereum at that zone. Other than that, it's all above. 1,580 Ethereum at 4,200. And then we've got this plethora of Ethereum in this range right here, which they are actively trying to hit. All right, so it's great news that Ethereum's come back up to the actual 4K mark. And we go back into the chart and we have a look at Ethereum. We're going to understand something about it. Here we go. So look, Ethereum's come back into the psychological high and low for the week, which is pretty good. I'm really happy about that. And even the 5 and the 13 EMA, the 5 is actually edging upwards, but of course this is on the 4-hour time frame, and she's still above the 800 EMA. And this is what it is about Bitcoin, guys. What I believe is going to happen with Bitcoin, this has been a explosive move. It's happened too fast. Fast move is the false move. Look at the 50. Look at the 200, look at the 800 EMA. Hardly budged. So they're going to need to bring price back into the fray just to get things back to square one and get people interested in trading again. Because if they keep sending price down lower, no one's going to commit any liquidity at the fear of actually losing again and again and again. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, what can we expect from now until Sunday night? Well, we need to wait for Bitcoin to come back up at least towards the 800 right here. All right, and that's on the 4-hour. We roll onto the 1-hour time frame. You can see bright as day. Look at that. The range weekly low. Price is below the range weekly low, above the range daily high, and above the range daily low. Okay? There's been a throw around in the ranges, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over the place. So we're waiting for them to regulate the zones. All right? We're waiting for that regulation. Once that regulation comes in, we would expect them to come back up towards the 50 EMA. But remember, it's the weekend, guys. We've got to be careful because price is just drifting back up. For all we know, in the next few hours, they could actually just spike down lower and try and recover the wick before they try and come back up. And we always have to assume that what if they continue to go down lower? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you go down to the lower time frames and establish where you are in terms of the momentum. Right now, the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame is being tested, which is the 13 EMA on the 1-hour time frame. All right? So by principle, what we are expecting is the following: rise, retrace, continuation up. We are below the low ADR, so things need to get back into the fray. They need to bring some normality into the charts itself. There's a lot of liquidity right here. They may take their time to move higher, which would imply slow move is the true trend. Slow trend is the true trend. But what I don't like about it is it's the weekend, and it's making these gains back up during the weekend. For all we know, on Sunday, they could actually spike it down lower, and then we will know where we stand with them. Okay? So I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys, especially pattern watchers, you weren't amongst the people that got liquidated in those figures that people have been releasing about how many people have been liquidated. It's a sad thing, but you know what, guys? Welcome to the game of trading, man. This is what it's about, all right? This is the sad truth about the game. When when you swim with sharks, if you don't expect to get bitten, then boy, you have to be some kick. You know what I'm going to say. Anyways, listen, guys, I hope the video serves purpose, all right? Please be careful when you are coming to your trading, guys, all right? Don't listen to hype. Don't fall for any traps. Use the candlesticks. Use the system, or whatever system it is that you do decide to use. Stick to its discipline, all right? Ignore the noise, because the only thing that you need is the result of what happens after every single candle that prints, okay? Understand what it is they're trying to do in this range based on what they have previously done to get to it. Okay? Mad love and respect to all of you people. Take care of yourselves. And I'll be speaking to you tomorrow night, Sunday night, to establish the psychological ranges for Bitcoin and Ethereum and BNB and XRP. All right? Other than that, guys, I keep losing my voice, man. I'm losing my speech. Have yourselves a good night. Peace.